Hey guys, today we're going to do circle graphs. Circle graphs are probably something you've seen a lot more of, and it is a quick way to look at data. Most of the time, circle graphs are dealing with percentages. So it's a quick way to see percentages. For example, if I saw a circle graph and half of it was red, then I know that that data represents 50% of the data. So let's take a look and we're going to figure some stuff out here. So a circle graph, let's start filling in our notes. A circle graph is a graph that shows percentages. It always compares parts to whole, and we have had tons of experience doing parts to whole and finding percents this year. So sometimes it can also be called a pie chart because it's shaped like a pie. And when you cut up a pie, it's kind of like the wedges in a circle graph. So we have here about favorite colors of the car. And as you know, in order for me to figure out any kind of percentages, I need to know the total number to begin with. So if I add all of this up right here, my total is 40. So now I'm going to figure out my percentages for each one of these. So let's see. I'm going to start with our formula, x over 100, because remember percent means out of 100. My total is going to be 4. And let's go ahead and do red first. There's 15 people said red cars. So I'm going to put my 15 over 40, and then I'm going to cross multiply. And I'm going to divide. Now when I divide by 40, as you know, I can knock out those two zeros. And 150 divided by 4 is 37.5. So that's going to be 37.5% for red. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here, 37.5%. All right, let's do the next one. X over 100 equals 10 over 40 because there's 10 people who like blue. So I cross multiply 40 times x, 100 times 10, divide. I can knock out those zeros. 100 divided by 4 is 25. It's always easy for me to remember that because there's 4 quarters in a dollar. So that's going to be 25% for blue. And if you look, green also has 10, so we can go ahead and put that in for green also. So this is for both of these colors. So let's see, for white, x over 100 equals 5 over 40. 40 times x, 500, divide. I can knock out one of these zeros, and x equals 12.5%, and that is for white. So we have 12.5%. I feel like we just did our last unit just all over again, finding the percent of a number. Now let me show you how to make a pie chart. Now, you guys are pretty, if I said I ate half the pie or half the pizza, you guys understand that this is half right there. If I said I ate half of the half, you know that that would look like that. Now, most of you know what a half and what a fourth is. Now, a fourth is 25%. A little earlier, I spoke about 4 quarters making $1. So that's one way to look at it. Well, we have two different colors that are 25%. We have the blue was 25%, and we had the green was 25%. Now, the other two are not 25%. One's a little bit more and one's a little bit less. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this line and I'm going to move it down a little bit. Okay, now I have kind of, sort of, not exact, but I have red, which is 37.5%. 5%, and white. So it is important for you to understand what a half of a circle looks like, and a fourth of a circle, 25% of a circle looks like. Because everything's going to be either a little bit more or a little bit less or something like that with 50 and 25%. You can get a close enough circle graph just knowing that much information. All right, now we have a circle graph, and we're going to figure out numbers. Because if I said 20% of my students like chocolate, that doesn't tell you how many students, so it just gives you a percent. So that's what we're going to do next. So there's 300 students, and they were all surveyed about their favorite movie. And so a circle graph has been created. And the first question says, what percent? Now, I don't even have to do x over 100 to figure out what percent. I know that a circle graph equals 100%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up all of these percents here. And when I add them all up, I get 71. I'm going to take 71 and I'm going to subtract it from 100%. And I get 29. So 29% like Fantasia. Let's go to the next one. The next one says how many. It's not asking for a percent. It wants to know how many students. So I'm going to look at the percentage for Shrek. And Shrek is 21%. So 21% over 100. We have 300 students. And let's see, we're looking for the part. Now, I could cross multiply and divide, and if I had a calculator, I could do that pretty quick. But I want to show you something cool that you can do not every time, but sometimes. So if I look at the denominators 100 and 300, I can see that 100 times 3 is 300. Okay, so instead of cross multiplying and dividing, let's just multiply the top number by 3, and I get 63. So that's 63, not percent, students. Remember, we are looking for the number of students. So try to keep that straight. Let's keep going. Cars, how many students chose cars over Tangled? Well, you know what? You know what I did in number 2? I could do that 2 times. I could find the number of students for cars, and then I could find the number of students for Tangled, and then I could subtract those 2 numbers. But what's much easier is to subtract the percents and then just find the percent one time. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Cars is 15%. Tangled is 13%. So the difference between those 2 numbers is 2. So I'm going to find 2% of the data, and that'll tell me how many more students chose cars over Tangled. So I'm going to do the 2% over 100. And remember, there's 300 students. And again, I can do the same math here. I can just go 100 times 3 and 2 times 3 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 students. That was pretty fast. True or false? The last question. The percent of students who chose Tangled, Cars, and Shrek is 50% of the total. Well, I don't know. Let's figure it out. So let's see. We already said that Tangled was 13, Cars was 15, and Shrek was 21. So I'm going to add those up, and if it adds up to 50, then that's a true statement. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3, 4. So that's 49% So that is a false statement. Okay, I hope you understand parts, or if not all, of how to do a circle graph. Now it's your opportunity to practice. Good luck. Ask questions if you need anything, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.